In a shocking turn of events, something has just occurred between Saudi Arabia and Israel that has sent shockwaves around the globe. It's a development that has the whole world on edge, and the implications are enormous. So, let's dive into this video today to know what just happened between Saudi Arabia and Israel that's terrifying everyone. In a world filled with intricate international connections, the absence of official friendships between nations stands out as a critical factor influencing global affairs. When governments lack effective channels for communication and problem-solving, a gap forms, waiting to be bridged by understanding and cooperation. This deficiency in diplomatic ties hinders countries from seizing opportunities to resolve issues collaboratively, potentially exacerbating conflicts. Historically, countless instances illustrate the repercussions of lacking official diplomatic connections, causing enduring disputes with worldwide implications. Consider the enduring hostility between the United States and Iran, where a lack of friendly relations has bred mistrust and turmoil in the Middle East. Such situations exemplify the profound impact of failing to employ diplomacy as a tool to address pressing issues, including counter-terrorism efforts and regional stability. Nowhere is the adverse influence of avoiding diplomatic friendships more evident than in the case of North Korea. The nation's isolation not only restricts information flow to its citizens, but also fuels human rights violations, unchecked by international intervention. Additionally, North Korea's pursuit of powerful weaponry destabilizes East Asia, illustrating the far-reaching consequences of diplomatic isolation. The strained relations between India and Pakistan similarly underscore the pitfalls of avoiding cooperation. Their distance from one another impedes collaboration on shared concerns, increasing the risk of regional conflicts that jeopardize peace and stability. These stories emphasize the pressing need for nations to engage in diplomatic discourse, fostering a more peaceful world. The absence of official diplomatic ties between Saudi Arabia and Israel, fueled by regional politics and the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, highlights the enduring impact of such diplomatic voids. Saudi Arabia's stance on Israel. Saudi Arabia's stance on Israel has remained unchanged since Israel's independence in 1948. This enduring conflict has led Saudi Arabia to consistently support the Palestinian side while opposing Israel in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and Israel share a unique and intriguing relationship, characterized by the absence of official diplomatic ties. Despite occasional high-level meetings and negotiations, these two nations avoid exchanging official embassies and formal agreements. They navigate their political, economic, and cultural interactions unconventionally, highlighting the complexity of global relationships in a world where partnerships and loyalties often defy conventional norms. The historical context of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. To understand this ongoing conflict, we need to delve into its history. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict traces its roots back to the late 1800s. In 1947, the United Nations passed Resolution 181, dividing the British Mandate Palestine into areas for Arabs and Jews. This resulted in the establishment of Israel in 1948, sparking the First Arab-Israeli War. Over the years, tensions escalated, leading to events like the First Intifada in 1987 and the Oslo Accords in 1993. By 2000, the Second Intifada erupted, marked by increased hostilities and territorial disputes. In 2014, conflict flared up again with clashes between the Israeli military and Hamas, resulting in casualties on both sides. Subsequent years saw continued clashes and protests, culminating in the violence of 2022 and the deteriorating situation in 2023, especially in the West Bank. Tensions between Palestinians and Israeli settlers have flared up repeatedly, and the situation has the potential to worsen. Israel's approval of 5,000 new settler homes in June 2023 raises concerns about the possibility of a third intifada, which could lead to widespread turmoil. In contrast to Saudi Arabia's stance, the United States has maintained a robust and close relationship with Israel since its establishment in 1948. This enduring alliance is founded on shared democratic principles, cultural affinities, and strategic interests in the Middle East. The U.S. provides substantial military aid to Israel, exceeding $3.8 billion annually. Despite the strength of this partnership, disagreements do arise, particularly concerning Israeli settlements and the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Saudi Arabia's historical role and recent support. Saudi Arabia's involvement in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict traces back to its status as a founding member of the Arab League. The kingdom has consistently supported Palestinian rights and advocated for their independence. Saudi Arabia has urged Israel to withdraw from the West Bank and territories occupied after 1967. In 1947, Saudi Arabia joined other Middle Eastern nations in opposing the United Nations partition plan for Palestine. Saudi troops were dispatched to fight against Israel in the 1948 and 1973 wars alongside other Arab forces. These conflicts, including the Six-Day War in 1967, led to shifts in territorial control and ongoing tensions. However, Saudi Arabia has also played a significant role in supporting the Palestinian people through substantial financial assistance to the Palestinian Authority and contributions to UN relief efforts. Remarkably, recent developments have seen Saudi Arabia and Israel taking unprecedented steps toward establishing official relations, marking a surprising turn in their historical relationship. The reasons behind this extraordinary alliance are intriguing and suggest a potential shift in regional dynamics, common concerns, and the Iran factor. An intriguing factor contributing to the unfolding alignment between Saudi Arabia and Israel is their shared unease about Iran's actions in the region. This unexpected connection finds resonance in recent global diplomacy. Just as the United States played a role in facilitating peace agreements between Israel and nations like the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, Sudan, and Morocco in 2020, there are now efforts underway to foster discussions between Saudi Arabia and Israel, aiming to establish formal diplomatic relations. Israeli President Isaac Herzog has hailed the United States' involvement in nurturing the potential friendship between Israel and Saudi Arabia. In a recent address, he expressed Israel's gratitude for these diplomatic efforts, emphasizing that such a normalization could catalyze transformative positive changes both regionally and globally. This sentiment underscores Israel's recognition of the far-reaching implications of forging an official relationship with Saudi Arabia. Complex role of U.S. and ongoing Saudi position. In the realm of global diplomacy, the current U.S. President, Joe Biden, is actively working to advance this burgeoning alliance, offering support to Israel's conservative government led by Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. In contrast, Saudi Arabia has reiterated its stance that it won't establish formal ties with Israel unless a comprehensive peace accord is achieved with the Palestinians, who continue to live under Israeli rule. Fahad Nazar, a spokesperson for the Saudi embassy in Washington, highlights the potential benefits of normalization, such as expanded trade and cultural exchanges. However, the foundational conflict with the Palestinians must be addressed for Saudi Arabia to fully embrace this path to friendship. Reports suggest that Saudi Arabia is even considering direct flights with Israel, streamlining the journey for Palestinian citizens, including those from the occupied territories, to embark on the annual pilgrimage. The backdrop of this evolving alliance involves a noteworthy alignment of interests between Saudi Arabia and Israel, stemming from a shared apprehension about Iran's regional influence. Despite not yet formalizing their friendship, there have been indications of covert cooperation due to their mutual concerns. Saudi Arabia's recent reconciliations with historical rival Iran and the Syrian government, facilitated by a deal brokered by China, provide a unique context for the potential rapprochement with Israel. Though these countries have not yet established official ties, they've exhibited signs of moving closer due to their common challenges and objectives. Reports in American media suggest that Saudi Arabia sees potential benefits from the United States if it recognizes Israel officially, including formal security assurances from Washington. Consequently, Saudi Arabia has adopted a more amicable stance, showing efforts to foster a more congenial approach while distancing itself from the conflict. Despite these emerging shifts, Saudi Arabia's steadfast support for the Arab Peace Initiative remains. This initiative links Israel's recognition with establishing a Palestinian state and the fair resolution of issues related to Palestinian refugees. While Saudi officials haven't dismissed the idea of an eventual agreement with Israel, they emphasize the importance of Israel addressing its concerns with the Palestinians. A transformative alliance and regional dynamics. In the grander scheme, the evolving relationships among the United States, Israel, and Saudi Arabia are shaped by intricate dynamics and divergent goals. The Middle East's complex interplay of regional security, economic interests, and diplomatic maneuvering creates a nuanced web of connections. The astonishing prospect of Saudi Arabian officials engaging with their Israeli counterparts underscores the region's potential for unexpected turns in diplomatic relations. This growing partnership signifies a significant milestone in a region characterized by historical complexities and intricate relationships. As this alliance continues to evolve, the world watches with anticipation, curious to witness the potential impact on the future trajectory of the Middle East. So, what do you think of the alignment between Saudi Arabia and Israel? Comment below and subscribe for more.